All right, my beauties. Well, let's get started. So this is just a little bit of a sort of basic meditation class, and it's only 30 minutes long. So I just wanted to start off with a little introduction on what meditation is, what the benefits are, and then we can go into a little bit of a stretch just to prepare the body for seated meditation, and followed by some pranayama, breath work, and a 10-minute meditation, and then we'll wrap it up. So do you guys have any questions before we get started? No? Okay. I'm guessing you guys both have like a lot of experience with meditation, right? Okay, cool. Well, so just to start off, meditation really connects us with the parasympathetic nervous system. So that's really why I like it so much, because I tend to run on anxious. So that parasympathetic nervous system drives our rest and digest. And oftentimes what happens in society these days is that we get stuck in our sympathetic nervous system and sort of that overproductivity, which can lead to burnout. So having a regular meditation practice can just really help us to prevent those burnouts from happening, and also just help us to induce a relaxation response. So in order to get a relaxation response, the body needs a couple of things. The first thing is that we need something to sort of repeat. So that can be like the breath, it can be a sound, it can be a movement. There are a lot of different ways to achieve that. So in meditation, most often we are focusing on the breath. And then after that, step 2 is to sort of release any thoughts that we have. And actually, what's really interesting is that it doesn't have to be a successful release of thoughts in order for us to receive the benefits of meditation and induce the relaxation response. So as long as we're just making that attempt to let go of the thoughts that are happening and be that observer instead of sort of following the storyline of each and every thought, then we can still get the benefits from meditation, and that will also become easier over time. So today, let's get started with just a 5-minute stretch to prepare us for meditation. And after that, I will explain what we're going to do with our pranayama practice. So I just want to start off in a tabletop position. So bring your knees underneath your hips and your wrists underneath your shoulders. Try to create a flat spine by reaching your tailbone back and reach your crown forward. And then we'll inhale, look forward, arch in the back, and exhale, look between the knees, arch the opposite direction. And just keep doing this for a few motions back and forth on your own breath. In this really simple movement, try to really work on engaging the breath. And once you feel like you've had enough of that, we can take it a step further and maybe just find some intuitive movement, meaning anything that just sounds like it would feel good to your body. Maybe you want to do some circles with the hips or circles with the ribs, kind of scooping out the peanut butter jar. Still engaging the breath. Try to keep it even on both sides. And once you feel even, come back to the center. Let's touch the toes behind us. Spread out the knees wide on the mat and sit back into a child's pose. Walk the hands all the way over to the left side and place the right hand on top of the left. Really sit that right sits bone down. So you should hopefully feel a nice stretch in the right side of your body. Send one more deep breath into the side body. And then walk the hands over to the other side. Now the left hand goes on top of the right and sit that left sits bone back. Beautiful. Last breath. And crawl those hands back to center. And then walk yourself a bit forward. Let's tuck the toes. Press back into downward facing dog. Just pedal out the legs for 5 breaths. Don't worry about this being perfect in any way. We're just getting the body a little bit warmed up so we feel a little bit more comfy in our meditation. And from here, I want you to lift up your left toes into the air. Bend in the knee, stack the hip, get a little opening in the groin and the quad. And then step your left foot through between the hands and drop the right knee. So now you're in a low lunge. Let's bring the hands to interlace and place them on top of the knee. Just sink down into the hips and use your hands to allow your shoulders to drop and the heart to open forward. Really straight spine. One more breath. And then drop those hands to frame up the foot and shift your hips back. Half split. Just take a little stretch in that left hamstring. Let's bend back into the left leg. Place the hands around the left foot. Tuck right toes. Step left toes back, downward dog. And lift up the right toes. Let's stack the hip. Stretch out the right hip. And square off those hips. Bring the right foot through. Drop the left knee down. Come up into your low lunge. Interlace the fingers opposite thumb on top. Straight spine, one more breath. And place the hands down to the mat. Stretch back for your half split. And bend back into that front knee. You're going to step back to your downward facing dog while I let Lewis out because he is upset. All right. Last breath in your down dog. And let's lift up the heels like you're wearing stilettos. Really push the chest back. And then bend in the knees. Drop them down. Walk yourself a bit forward on your mat. Our last couple shapes. Let's come to Baddha Konasana. So we'll touch the soles of the feet together. Hold on to the shins or the feet. And just roll forward. Maybe get a little rock side to side. Roll yourself all the way up. And come to a cross-legged shape. Last thing here. Press the right hand onto the ground and stretch the left hand over for a side body stretch. And let's switch to the other side. Wonderful. So hopefully you feel a little bit warmed up, got some blood moving. I like to sit on a cushion for my meditation because it just makes me feel a little bit more comfortable and helps me to sit up a little straighter. So maybe just find whatever position feels good for you. You can also lay down if you want to. And make sure that you're wearing a nice blanket or sweater, something that's going to feel comfortable for about a 15-minute meditation. So our first step here is to find our comfortable seat. You can place your hands face down on top of the thighs. Maybe pick up the shoulders, drop them back. Imagine that the crown of your head is growing a little bit taller. And root those sits bones down into the earth. My pets are having a really hard time because it just started raining. All right. So our pranayama for today is called Japa. It's a really fun name. And basically all that means is awareness of the repetition of the breath. So when you're ready, let's close down the eyes and just begin to bring your awareness inward. Notice the quality of your breath. There's no need to do anything to manipulate or change the breath. Just simply notice the way that it's moving. Notice where you feel it in the body. Maybe the nose or the throat or the chest or the belly. Notice if it's long or short, shallow or deep, warm or cool. And now I'll leave you for a few moments of silence to step into this role as the observer. Without judgment or expectation, simply observe. If you notice your mind beginning to drift, it's okay. Just try to bring it back to your anchor of the breath. And moving from our pranayama into our meditation, I invite you to begin visualizing as you breathe a ball of light beginning at the base of the spine, raising as you inhale to the crown, and lowering as you exhale back to the base of the spine. So we're inhaling, light goes up. Exhaling, light reverses back down the spine. And maybe if you're having a hard time fielding off thoughts, just know that that's totally normal. And you can just observe them without attachment. As you continue your inhales and exhales, visualizing that light moving up and down, illuminating your nervous system. Just try this for a few moments of silence before we add on. And our final step in this meditation, as you inhale and the light goes up the spine, you have the option to also silently chant to yourself, hum, and as it reverses, sa. So light goes up the spine, inhale, hum, light goes back down, sa. This chant is a silent, internal chant, and the meaning of the words is not so important as the vibrational healing energy of the words and the sound within the body. And I'll leave you for a few minutes of silence to practice this. And finish off your current round of breath. And then you can release the visualization, release the chant. And in order to ground back into the body, let's just picture all of that light and energy that you created coming back in towards the heart center, gathering that energy back in, grounding you back down. Take a couple more breaths with this visualization. And you can begin to rub the thighs with the hands, or maybe rub the arms, just coming back to the body. Let's rub the hands together, make them warm. And once they're warm, place the palms over the eyes, fingertips on top of the head. You can even open your eyes under the hands and allow the warmth to sink in. Close back down the eyes. Bring the hands to prayer and heart center. Take a small bow forward. Namaste.